How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I just want to say before we get into the video, make sure to check the links below in the description for timestamps. It'll help you navigate the video if you want to skip through the summary and get on to why I do not think he's a Targaryen. I will just go ahead and say that. I don't think he's a Targaryen. Kind of like you guys to know the main idea of the video before we jump into it. But anyways, make sure to check the timestamps. The timestamps. And yeah, I don't want to see any comments about, man, this guy's taking forever to get to the main idea. Just click the button. That's all you gotta do. Just click the button. And welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day. My name is Lycan, and today we're going to be taking a look at who the Night King could possibly be. With the premiere of episode 1, it's been leaving people in, I don't know, just they've been asking a lot of questions, trying to figure out who the Night King could be. What's up with the symbol that he left with poor little Ned Umber. Man, if your name is Ned in Game of Thrones, you just have a really bad fate, it seems like. But anyways, we're going to be taking a look at what the symbol could mean. Could the Night King possibly be a Targaryen? I don't know about that one. We'll take a look at it. But yeah, we're going to be trying to come up with some answers for all of these questions that everybody's been asking after seeing episode 1. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Make sure to smash that thumbs up button if you do. Click the notification icon if you want to stay up to date with all my videos and stuff. And make sure to leave a comment. I love to hear about your guys' opinions. But yeah, let's jump into the video. Who is the Night King? So I'm sure most of you guys know about the Night King and stuff, but just in case, we're going to go ahead and run through kind of like a little bit of a backstory, a little bit of a summary, and kind of talk about what we know about him so far. So yes, I do have notes and stuff pulled up on my computer. If you see me looking at it a lot, I do apologize, but I kind of just need something to go off of. It's getting late. I'm a little sleepy, but anyways, the Night King is of course the leader of the undead army and the White Walkers. So we're kind of led to believe that the White Walkers have been created by Craster's sons. He's been, you know, just basically sacrificing them to the Night King, I guess, in order to kind of stay alive, which obviously didn't work out for him. So anyways, all of the White Walkers that you see, they resemble the Night King. They kind of have the same face, you know, they are riding the horses and stuff. Basically, they are Craster's sons that have been turned. And then, of course, they also can raise, you know, fallen people of Westeros, and they turn them into the Whites, which makes up the army of the undead. We do know that if you do kill a White Walker, the group around them of Whites will actually explode. So that is good news. That's definitely going to help when it comes to defeating the army of the undead. One of the other things that we do know is that the Night King was most likely a first man who was captured by a pack of the Children of the Forest. Leaf, who was among the pack, pressed a dragonglass dagger into his chest, which, think about this, we'll probably find a picture here in a minute, but the when he killed little Ned Umber, it kind of resembled that. If you look at the picture of the zoomed out area where he was first turned, they have like the same symbol that does kind of resemble a little bit the Targaryen sigil, but nonetheless, yeah, that's kind of a sign. Just like when Leaf stabbed that dagger into his chest, little Ned Umber also was pierced to the chest. So yeah, we have a little bit of corresponding symbolism there. But anyways, Leaf was the one who pressed the dragonglass dagger through his chest, turning him into the first of the White Walkers. Now, are we 100% sure that this is still the same guy? No, but I would say we could throw a 95% chance on there that this is still the same guy. Of course, we do learn all about this when Leaf is telling Bran Stark that her people created the first White Walkers to defend themselves when Westeros was invaded by the first men. They, of course, were cutting down the sacred trees and slaughtering the Children of the Forest, because that's what everybody does when they invade a new land. They pretty much just start wiping out everybody that was there before, and they lay claim to pretty much everything. Yeah, humans, gotta love it. So with that being said, they decided, hey, we need a more powerful weapon, and we need to take out the first men. So they ended up shoving the dragonglass dagger into this gentleman's chest, and yeah, pretty much he turned on them. With the conclusion of the long night and the war for the dawn being won, basically the Night King was forced to the lands of always winter, and yeah, they've basically been hiding there ever since. Obviously not now, but it was past the wall, and that's just basically where they've been hanging out. And then, of course, Game of Thrones pretty much starts here. So the Night King first appears when Bran Stark has a vision while he's pretty much interacting with a weirwood heart tree. He's not really comprehending what's going on at the time, but I'm pretty sure we see the Night King picking up one of Craster's sons off an ice altar and basically turning him into what we know as the White Walkers. That was a pretty crazy scene. So I think a lot of people really overlooked this. I think everybody was thinking that Craster's sons were going to be playing a much bigger part, but I think it pretty much just comes down to they are being used as the White Walkers. That's kind of just, I don't know, I thought it was a really cool tie-in. It's one of those things too where Game of Thrones is just so good at, you know, kind of building something up and making you just really question everything about it, only for it to be a very simple reasoning. That's just how the Night King is pretty much building his army off of Craster's sons. That gives Craster something to do with his sons and also a way to survive. So then we see the Night King at Hardhome. He appears to be leading the attack while Jon and Tormund are trying to evacuate everyone. He's at least watching it. You know, he's got all the other White Walkers. We see him up on the mountain, and he's just watching as pretty much, you know, the Whites are just starting to fall off the side of the cliff and just beginning to take over Hardhome. At Hardhome, I do think this is where the Night King starts to notice Jon. I'm not too sure how far we're going to get into really what the Night King is trying to express, what he's feeling, what are his thoughts. But I do think with Season 8, Episode 1, them showing this symbol, I think they are going to start diving into it a little bit more. I do think now that we will figure out what the Night King is after, why everything is happening. Because I know throughout the Long Night, the second one, a lot of people were starting to think we may not even figure out what he's after. But I think since they've kind of, you know, brought in elements from Season 1, really the prologue and stuff like that, where the three guys from the Night's Watch are journeying out to find the wildlings, and they end up finding pieces of them and symbols and stuff like that. They're kind of really recreating that. They're getting back into symbolism and hopefully showing, you know, what the Night King is actually after. But I think this is at Hardhome where he notices Jon. I don't really know if he was expecting anybody to really take out any of his lieutenants or generals or whatever you want to call them, but Jon does with Longclaw. That's where we learn that Valyrian steel will wipe out a White Walker. So obviously they end up escaping. You guys know this, but this is when the Night King raises his arms and you see the power. This is where Jon completely decides, hey, we need to take out the army of the undead. This is where it's bad. This is where Jon basically becomes the leading point of, you know, the defense against the army of the undead. He sees what they can do. All these people they just lost, he literally does this and they all stand. It's pretty freaky, but absolutely amazing. He also, you know, gets the giant and everything. So you realize that, hey, not only can he, you know, raise an army of the dead humans, but also giants and of course dragons. So then I think it's in Season 6 where Bran is in a vision, and we also realize that, hey, maybe there's a connection between Bran and the Night King, because he's in his vision, he ends up seeing the Night King, and the Night King grabs his arm. This is where we kind of start to believe that maybe they're the same person or they're tied to the same things. A lot of people think that Bran could be the Night King. If you want to check out that video, I'll link it in the description below. It's a pretty good video, and that's still kind of where I think everything is going to go. But anyways, yeah, we kind of learned that obviously the Night King has kind of magical powers, I guess you could say. I don't know of another less cheesy way to say that, but basically he's tied to the seers and the sights that Bran can see as well, and he knows when Bran's watching. He knows when he is watching. This, of course, also leaves the three-eyed raven to tell Bran, hey, he touched you. He knows where we're at. He's coming. You can even see a mark on his forearm. So yeah, then the Night King ends up showing up. And this is where Hodor, Summer, Leaf, they all die. Hold the door, man. Hold the door. But if it wasn't for Hodor, Bran would not be alive, and then he wouldn't be able to do this every time he sees somebody. I think that pretty much explains the Night King pretty well. I did find like a list where somebody came up with like all of his powers and abilities, so we'll go through that. But real quick, just to catch it up with Season 8, basically, you know, it ends up leading to Jon finds out, well, they find out that Dragonglass will kill the White Walkers. They're still not sure if it'll even kill the Night King yet. But anyways, that leads him to Dragonstone, where he sees Dany, meets her and stuff. He basically bends the knee. She allows him to mine for the Dragonglass, with her also becoming a huge ally now, pretty much the queen. And yeah, then they end up trying to find a White to show Cersei and the rest of them that, hey, this is a huge threat. That leads to the loss of a dragon, which now the Night King has brought back. He's got an undead Viserion, and that makes him a dragon rider. And now we know Jon's a dragon rider. So yeah, the prophecy of the dragon has 3 heads. We'll be talking about that. But anyways, that pretty much catches us up now. Season 8, basically they blew through the wall with the dragon, or that's Season 7. And now Season 8, they're just working their way south. They've wiped out the last hearth and little Ned Umber. So yeah, that's pretty much where we're at now, leaving off with the symbolism and stuff. But we will talk real quick about these powers and abilities. I thought it was pretty cool. And then we'll jump into who I think the Night King is, what are the popular theories right now and stuff like that. And be sure to leave comments down below. It's really cool to hear your guys' thoughts. So Anyways, this says, obviously, White Walker conversion. The Night King can turn a human baby into a White Walker by pressing the tip of his finger to the baby's cheek. The child's skin will begin to pale, and its eyes will turn the same blue as the other White Walkers. He does this, obviously, with Craster's kids. So, he also has reanimation. The Night King can raise corpses as whites. He doesn't require physical contact to do so. I felt cool doing that. But anyways, he can raise thousands of whites at a single time just by lifting his arms. Obviously, giants and dragons included. Enhanced strength. Although he's not been observed engaging in single combat, the Night King possesses the same inhuman strength that other White Walkers exhibit, just like how he can throw the ice spear and wipe out a dragon. Weapon shattering. The Night King's touch can presumably shatter regular metal weapons, as with most White Walkers, but hopefully not dragon glass. We'll see how that goes. Marking. The Night King can mark someone so that he knows exactly where that person is, and no magical boundary can stop him from pursuing a person so marked, just like he does with Bran, and then immediately ends up at the Battle of the Cave of the Three-Eyed Raven. I didn't know they titled that a battle. It was more like a slaughter. But anyways, it says minor seismic control. The Night King can cause fissures in the ground. Detecting wargs. The Night King seems to be able to sense when animals are controlled by a warg, just like he was able to spot Bran in his vision with the crows or ravens, whatever you want to call them, when Bran was scouting beyond the wall using a flock of ravens. They say ravens. The Night King stares at the ravens, and Bran was pulled out of his warging immediately. It's not immediately clear whether this is because the Night King can sense Bran to do his mark, or if he can do this to any warg. I still think that the Night King and Bran are tied together. This one also is very interesting. Fire resistance. Just as with White Walkers under his control, the Night King appears resistant, perhaps immune to fire due to the extreme cold he radiates. During the White Hunt, he is seen walking through a wall of dragon fire unharmed. His mere presence causes it to flicker and go out. Dragon riding. Now this is going to be pretty. We'll save that one for later. Dragon riding, and then prolonged life. Obviously, he's been around for, I think they say like 8,000. Yeah, 8,000 years. That's weird that I knew that. The Night King was created by the Children of the Forest during the Wars of the First Men and the Children of the Forest, and has been alive for about 8,000 years. It can be assumed the magic that transformed him also gave him his longevity. So yes, for the purpose of this video, we are going to we're going to assume that he is the original White Walker that Leaf created. Just for the purpose of this video, I don't feel like they would have shown that and it not be him, but you never know. You never know. So since it's the most popular right now, we will talk about the Night King being a Targaryen. I'm just going to go through, I guess, the evidence of what people are using for their argument, and then we'll talk about how I feel about it afterwards. So I think the main thing, well, there's two things. One is that the Targaryens are the only people to have ever been known to ride dragons. I think they used sorcery and lots of practice back in the day, but yeah, they became like the dragon riding family. Obviously then, you know, Aegon came west and pretty much obliterated everyone because no one else had dragons. So a lot of people are thinking that since obviously Jon and Dany are the only two that have rode a dragon and they're Targaryen, well, the only two alive people that have rode a dragon and they're Targaryens, that must mean since the Night King can ride a dragon, that he is also a Targaryen. Because obviously none of these guys have even practiced. It's basically just in their blood. That's what they're trying to say. It's just in the blood of the undead Night King. So he can ride a dragon because he's a Targaryen. So that's the first part. The second part is since he is a Targaryen, that means the prophecy can come true that the dragon has 3 heads, which is basically a vision that Dany's seen in the House of Undying, saying that she can only become the queen of the Iron Throne once there's a dragon rider for each dragon. So a lot of people thought it was going to be Tyrion, which we'll just get into this later. We'll get into it afterwards. So yeah, a lot of people are thinking that since the Night King is a Targaryen because he can ride a dragon, now there's 3 dragon riders, which means the prophecy can be fulfilled and it's not going to be Tyrion. So yes, those are pretty much the two biggest arguments. And then well, that was beforehand. So now we have this new thing that basically is contributed to the fiery symbol that we see in episode 1. They think that the way that everything was on fire, which obviously fire and it being like body parts and stuff, blood, and the way it kind of moves in a circle, we'll just put up a picture of it, that it resembles the Targaryen sigil. So yeah, that's the newest thing. People think that I guess the most popular way to interpret this symbol right now is that it's the Targaryen sigil. But yeah, this comes up right in one of the last scenes of the episode, which I thought was absolutely amazing. We talked about it a little bit earlier, that I think it's basically, I think it's really cool that the Night King is showing symbolism again. That way, I feel like we're really going to find out why he is here. But anyways, of course, one of the coolest lines, "My eyes have always been blue," happens right after that. You see poor Ned Umber stabbed in the chest, and yeah, basically when Beric Dondarrion lights him on fire, it lights everything on fire, and we have what seems to kind of resemble the Targaryen sigil. I'll put up the picture one more time. So yeah, those are pretty much the 3 most popular reasons why people think that the Night King could be a Targaryen. So I'm going to talk about it a little bit just for my feelings. I don't really have much evidence for it, but I'm relying more on just kind of common sense. So they wanted... Obviously, we're past the books, so they wanted the Night King to, and I mean, the Night King's not even really, we're just completely ventured away from the books. Forget I said that. So anyways, yes, the Night King took out a dragon, right? He took out a dragon. He brought it back as an undead dragon. So yes, he has an undead dragon. Why would he not be able to ride it? You know what I mean? Like, that belongs to him now. That dragon is no longer a real, true dragon. Like, do you think that he was going to let the Night King ride him before he was brought back? You know what I mean? So if the Night King was really a Targaryen, I don't think those dragons would have cared. You know what I mean? So yeah, I can't see it happening. If the dragons realized that he was a Targaryen, they would have been cool with him riding while, you know, they were still alive. So anyways, he takes out a dragon. It's now an undead dragon, undead Viserion, zombie Viserion, whatever you want to call him. He's going to be able to ride him. Like, that's just to make the show epic. You know what I mean? So I can't really see that playing into it. Now, the prophecy does not say anything that it has to be Targaryens. I don't think it does. It just says 3 dragon riders. So yeah, we have 3 dragon riders now, and the only reason, like, I don't really think there was anything building up to it. Like, there's not some secret code that that it unlocks or anything. It's basically just saying that once 3 dragons are being ridden, that is when you will become the queen. That's all it's saying, really. It's not saying, hey, you got to have 3 Targaryens to work these 3 dragons. That way you can pick a master lock on the Red Keep or anything like that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think it's pretty cool that people are thinking about this stuff, but I just can't see it. And then the symbol is not the Targaryen sigil. I can't see it. The symbol is the original place where he was turned into a White Walker. Let's look at the picture. So as you can tell, it's going on right in the center, kind of just like he was stabbed right in the chest. And then you can see these stones formed, kind of coming out in like a wave. I can't really say exactly what it means. Some people were saying that it looks like it has like 7 arms, and that means that he's the king of the 7 kingdoms. But I think it's just going to basically relate to where it all started. Like, somehow it's going back to the beginning, and we're going to figure it out in the next few episodes. So yeah, I think that the symbol just basically shows that the Night King hasn't forgot about how he was created, and yeah, he's coming south to burn everybody because he's pissed off about it. So, oh shoot, I also forgot that some people think that this means he could also be Rhaegar Targaryen, that the Night King could be Rhaegar, and that's why he's a Targaryen, and that's why he's coming south, and that's why he's riding a dragon. But that just blows my mind. I can't see that happening, so definitely let me know what you think about that one. But yeah, I think if the Night King was going to be anybody, he's going to be a Stark. But at the same time, I really do not think that, I don't think they're really going to get into who the Night King was, honestly. That's kind of my final answer. I don't really think they're going to get into who the Night King was. They're just going to get into what he wants and how to destroy him. I don't think they have enough time to really wrap it up like that. I think, honestly, one of the biggest reasons we're not going to be figuring out who the Night King is or was is because he's made up for the show. That's probably the biggest thing. He's made up for the show. He was not in the books, or at least not yet, and that is why we really will not get a crazy backstory. They're somehow just going to wrap it up as to maybe why he's doing what he's doing, but not really who he was. I don't think they're going to dive into it. I think in the books, everybody thinks that, or based on the books, everybody thinks that he would be a Stark. That's kind of what I would think. But for the show, I'm still all about the Bran Theory. I'm not going to lie. I'm still about the Bran Theory. Some would say that it would pretty much destroy his complete arc, because why would, you know, the 3-eyed Raven be trying to bring him in just to defeat himself? But I think they could really evolve it. You know what I mean? So I have a video on it if you do want to check it out. And I think that's where we're going to leave this video, because this was mainly just about kind of debunking the whole Targaryen thing. I guess it could be true, but I just don't see it. So yeah, that is who I think the Night King is. I think if I had to choose right now, he'd be tied to Bran somehow. May not exactly be Bran, but he's tied to Bran somehow, and I feel like Bran's probably going to have to die for the Night King to die. So we're going to see what exactly happens. This was a really long video, but hopefully it kind of explained who the Night King is a little bit, what I think about the symbolism and stuff, and why I do not think he is a Targaryen. I just think it's kind of silly, and people will try to people try to come up with answers for everything when I think it's much more simple. You know what I mean? So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. This has been Lycan, and yeah, we'll see you in that next one. Make sure to leave me some comments talking about the Night King. I want your thoughts on who he is, why he's doing what he's doing, and make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.